Talking about photography, why you to try street photography exactly? How can it impress you? How can you impress your audience with a street image? The answer is individual. Mine is in the photos themselves, the photos part of which I'll be showing you and will be discussing throughout this course. Let's start with this one. When I saw the woman, I didn't start shooting immediately, as if I were missing something in her expression, as if her face was not expressive enough. Well, as soon as I took a step to the left, the perspective in front of me changed. I saw the reflection. This reflection actually creates the frame. Let's try to make a short analysis. The frame is divided into two almost equal parts, the woman and her reflection. There is symmetry. This is already a good beginning. The reflection reveals the essence of this woman in that very moment. Take a closer look. On the right, there is a bitten lip. The association probably she's hiding something. There is the slightly anxious look of the woman as well. On the left now, the reflection that she cannot control. For us, the audience, it looks more or less as a person from a different world, as a completely different person. A long nose, association, lying. Subconsciously, we connect the nose with the bitten lip in one whole picture. Going further with our analysis, the mirror always shows the other side of the person. All of us do have this other side. Well, saying it straight away, this is just my interpretation of the story. Furthermore, I did not have absolutely any intention to show anything against that person. This is what I saw. This is how I read it after that. Remember the logo we spoke about a minute ago? Well, everyone has the right to see something different in each and every photo. Why street photography? We are still answering this question. Well, because of photos like this one. Doesn't matter how hard you try, you simply cannot repeat the moment. In the twinkling of an eye, the story in front of your eyes changes. You had your chance. You had your millisecond. You took advantage of it? Great. You missed it? Well, sorry, but just keep practicing. Back to the photo. Yes, we have certainly seen a woman with a kite in other photos more than once. But I bet they weren't like this one exactly. How the plot worked this way? Thanks to the various elements. Look at it. There are mountains, there is dramatic sky and heavy light, there is the turn of the head in that very second, there is that body language. Last but not least, the kite with a rope. I had, a couple of seconds, literally. If I hadn't managed, well, I couldn't simply say, "Dear grandma, you fit that perfectly well. Yeah, this is the image of that, but I didn't have time to capture it. Could you please go one more time, just a little bit slower?" Yeah, I couldn't do it. Sounds ridiculous, I know. Street photography? Why? Because of photos like this one. Isn't it cool when you had just a minute, more often just a second, and after all you snatched the story? Furthermore, you created quite a decent composition. In details, a little bit later in the course. Here's one more reason. Smoke and fog. We've seen over and over again. Just here everything is composed in a harmonious, in a well thought of way. Then the result is quite pleasing. When taking a photo, you should of course strive for a wow effect. You should try to surprise yourself as well as your audience. And before you show a picture, you need to ask yourself how many similar photos have already been taken? Well, this question often leads to development because you level up the expectations, you raise your personal bar. These images of yours would always stand out. You will be remembered for them exactly. Why street photography? Because you may enjoy taking photos like this one. Absolutely, this is a street photo as well. It doesn't matter at all that the main object here is a dog. Let's go a little bit deeper and see why. There is fog as a beginning. When it comes to photography, this is always a good sign. We'll speak later in the course why exactly. The dog is in the center of the frame. Yes, I know, this is considered as a violation of the composition rules, but not always. Certainly not in this case. It's the central composition exactly that puts the emphasis on the loneliness of this dog, the dog in the center. The other one on the right is not so important here. The central composition says so as well. The other layer, there are people. But there's an important detail about them at the same time. All of these people have their backs to the dog, as if they don't see that stray dog, or, in general, the social problem of stray dogs. So, in short, atmosphere, animals, people, a social problem, all of these pieces mixed together, and here you are. A street photo is created. Everyone can see and read it as they want. Here's another non-typical example for street photography, without any people and about people at the same time. The central symbols are the Bulgarian and European Union flags, and the mess, of course, between them. The mess that unfortunately corresponds to the real situation not only in Bulgaria, but in the whole Eastern Europe. What would you say for a story like this one? A street photo again. If I were to give a title to the photo, it would be Samsara. On a side note, samsara is a philosophical concept of transmigration of souls. Check it out if you need. So, let's take a closer look now. The frame here is divided into two equal parts, which means symmetry again. By the way, symmetry was loved by many dictators. The upper part of the frame is cold, whereas the lower one, warm. Wait a second, it turns out that right there, under, is better? It turns out that we missed something? Could be. One more time, not a single person here, but the photo is about people without a doubt. Another street photo. Look at the leg of the pigeon, its claws. Look at the hand of the man, same dynamic, same body language. There is a dialogue between them. Actually, don't pigeons remind you of city punks? I mean, they don't want to fly even, they just walk with an impudent gait and constantly demand food. Point of view. I told you at the beginning. Another street photo? There isn't much to explain here, just a cool association, a cool dialogue, which comes to underline again, street photography is everywhere. You just need to keep your eyes wide open, your camera always ready, and to keep practicing. Have you noticed, in fact, how people are getting less and less in each and every photo? However, these are still pictures about people. In fact, quite often people imply in a direct way that some of my photos are staged. This one as well. We'll have a different topic about staged or photoshopped plots, and are they acceptable at all in street photography? Here, the moment that you see, your imagination may draw quite a creepy story, I know. Even a friend of mine wrote a short story based on the plot here and titled it The Yellow Sandals. Well, I don't want to disappoint you, but I checked, really, there was absolutely no one down there. We, however, have one more example for a street photo without any people and about people at the same time. Here it is. Remember the Maslow's pyramid, hierarchy of needs? Art, there, comes at the top. Once we have all our other needs met, then we can think for spiritual well-being. Well, that's a photo about the place of art nowadays. The art has disappeared in a bottle of cheap beer.